CGI is for losers.
Come on, Mr. Waltz. This is a very cheap shot. We all love the characters in your movies, even the bad ones. So you don't need to act as an even in real life. Hey, but isn't this you acting in these movies? The Legend of Tarzan, full of CG animals and environments, and the first movie to implement the ACES pipeline. Alita, a great movie, but very CGI intensive. Downsizing that has a perfect mix of VFX and practical. Epic, a full CG animated feature.
Epic is, it's called epic for a reason.
Look at that. Damn, you are a loser 100%. And a special mention goes to Pinocchio, where you voice one of the main characters. Yes, I know, this is stop motion.
Animation is made by humans, and that's what makes it moving.
But wait, isn't CGI made by human too? Why you guys feel the need to speak about CGI and digital artistry always in a negative way? By the way, what about all the green screen and the digital effects in Pinocchio? Aren't they made in CGI? Okay, let me clarify one thing. What is CGI then? By definition, CGI means computer-generated imagery. So this means that anything that goes through any kind of digital pipeline is, in theory, CGI. Even compositing, coloring, editing, or why not, anything that we do using our phones is, by definition, CGI. So why in the hell no CGI is such a trendy flex in Hollywood? Let's start with Oppenheimer, that has a special place in my heart. Internet was flooded with articles about the nuclear explosion made with no CGI. Was it really like that? No doubt Nolan knows exactly what CGI and VFX are, coming from the direction of multiple movies who won Oscars for VFX. It is absolutely true. He filmed hundreds of footages of particles, dust, flame, explosions. But what happened to all those elements? Simple. A big group of digital artists combine all those hundreds of layers together using a compositing software that, what the irony, is called Nuke. They completed all the shots under the expert eye of a VFX supervisor. Isn't that using CGI? So why all this no CGI nonsense? Why many of the VFX professionals who work on Oppenheimer were not credited? Hey Christopher, we deserve more respect than this. In the end, it's also thanks to VFX and CGI if you were able to bring on screen your movies. And this is only one example. Let's see what other lies Hollywood is telling us.
Well, we got to do all the jets practical. No CGI in the jets. I'm saying right now, no CGI in the jets.
No CGI in the jets.
What we're looking at here is not CGI.
No, it's all real. I think you feel when it's fake. When it's out, you know it's somehow artificial. All of this is real.
Everything is done for real. It's a 1-ton metal bomb that we roll. Keep it real, keep it practical. And what we did, actually, we did this for real.
The reason why we built everything is because built everything as opposed to doing a lot of CGI.
CGI.
Like, well, yes, they did add some flying monkeys and some animals, but these were really practical sets that we were so blessed to be a part of. Yes.
That's real.
Yeah, Nathan designed these incredible sets and spent months and months building them. So what you're seeing is where we got to be for 2 years. It was just so special. Yeah, it's really.
It was just so special. Yeah, it's really.
On top of the kind of the stunts and the driving, and because all of that stuff is in camera. We have these incredible drivers who are doing all that stuff. None of that is CGI. The CGI is like the crowd.
None of that is CGI. The CGI is like the crowd.
He wanted to make it really practical and shot.
The temptation is to go all digital. The cars could be animated. You could film the tracks as background plates and do digital cars. But in this case, everything is real.
It's always a treat for an audience when something feels more real. Shooting this movie without green screens.
It's very practical. That's what I got from Neil when I met him, to make it as real as possible.
Well, it's funny because you hire a guy who's primarily like a sci-fi guy. And when we showed up on set, he just wanted everything to be real. He didn't want any CGI in this movie.
Everything to be real. He didn't want any CGI.
These are just some of the examples of the movies that got sold as practical masterpieces while hiding massive amount of digital artistry. If you're interested in knowing more about this, please go have a look at the incredible job done by the amazing Jonas Ussing in his series No CGI is really just invisible CGI. Truth is, this disrespect towards the VFX people is not new to Hollywood. I don't know how many of you remember this. At the Oscar 2013, Life of Pi wins 10 Academy Awards, including Best Direction for Ang Lee and Best VFX for Rhythm and Use. The incredible thing is that while the film was collecting statues, Rhythm and Use was filing for bankruptcy the very same day. They collapsed under the cost of months of overtime caused by constant creative changes coming from Ang Lee himself and receiving zero financial support from the production. Even worse, in the speech, Ang Lee never even mentioned VFX. Not a single thank you. And without them, the movie would have been just a guy in a boat with a stuffed toy in a big tank of water. But the disrespect didn't stop there. The whole show started with jokes mocking the importance of the VFX crews.
Visual effects artists are given the respect they deserve. This was a huge year for VFX.
Well, is that really something that you want to say?
Just roll it back. Let's just give them what they want.
No. Let's just give them the respect they deserve and give them the damn award.
Okay.
And when the Rhythm and Use team tried to speak honestly about their financial situation, the Academy cut them off mid-sentence, muting their microphones.
Including Rhythm and Hughes. Sadly, Rhythm and Hughes is suffering severe financial difficulties right now. I urge you all to remember.
And no, I didn't cut the video short.
What?
By the way, the movie made over 600 millions at the box office, with a net of almost 500 millions. Not a cent of that money went to the studio that made the magic possible. Fast forward 2020. James Corden and Rebel Wilson walk on the stage at the Oscar dressed as characters from Cats, and jokes that,
as cast members of the motion picture Cats,
nobody more than us understands the importance of good visual effects.
Good visual effects.
Funny enough, this might be the best acting performance of their career. Anyway, they imply that Cats failed because of bad visual effects. Now, I won't go too much in details. I was the CG supervisor on that movie. So sure, call me biased. But I can tell you one thing with absolute certainty. The problem wasn't the artist behind the monitor, it was the decision made behind the cameras and the boardroom desk. You know what I mean. We were handed an impossible task, and we delivered it no matter what, with blood, sweat, sleepless nights, and the ridiculous amount of passion from a team of nearly 2,000 artists all around the world. And instead of being recognized, we were turned into a punchline. Still, I'll say this. That project taught me one thing: nothing is impossible. And I'll always be proud of the incredible team I had the honor to lead. But why is it so easy to blame CGI and VFX? Because we are faceless. Even award-winning VFX supervisors are unknown to the public. So when things goes wrong, we are the easy scapegoat. Hollywood protects its actors, writers, directors, and producers. VFX, we are expendable. It's much easier to blame bad CGI than a bad script or a bad direction. In the end, we are just the nerds in the dark room doing invisible work, because you see it's CGI only when it's bad. So let me show you the perfect recipe to make bad CGI. Start with a bad script, blunt and soulless. Add a pinch of incompetent direction, someone who has no idea what they actually want. Throw in terrible pre-production and inefficient on-set supervision. Add unrealistic expectation, tiny budget, and impossible deadlines. And why not? Unpredictable clients who change their mind every other day. Then sprinkle with producer who can't say no, chaotic VFX management that guarantee no one knows what's happening, folds in a lot of junior and throw them at the problems. And make sure there's no time to train them. Finally garnish with high turnover and a lot of overtime. And there you go, the perfect recipe for bad CGI. Bon appétit, Hollywood! And you know what proves it? Some of the best movies in the recent years come from indie production that embrace VFX as a storytelling tool. Take Godzilla Minus One. 30 VFX artists working hand in hand with the director delivered an Oscar-winning project competing against giants like The Creator, Guardian of Galaxy, Mission Impossible, and Napoleon. Oh yes, you remember the masterpiece All for Real that costed about 200 million. Meanwhile, Godzilla costed only 15 millions. Let that sink in. Or Everything Everywhere All at Once. 11 Oscars, including Best Pictures and Best Director. A movie filled with effects. Perfect combination of practical and VFX. Made by a VFX crew of only 5 people. How, you ask?
It really is all about the story. 500 visual effects shots done with 5 guys in their bedrooms. We need to be encouraging other independent filmmakers to understand this language because this is how all movies are going to be made now.
Seamless collaboration, no egos, no greed, just passion and love for movies. And Flow, an indie animated feature film that won the Oscar against Pixar and DreamWorks, made in Blender, an open source software, by a small and independent team. Pure artistry, not a billion-dollar machinery. Passion beat greed every time. What do these projects have in common? Passion, devotion, love for the craft. Movies made because of the love for cinema, not because the studio wanted another profit report. That's the difference, and that's what Hollywood has forgotten. Greed is killing movie magic. The VFX industry is paying the highest price for Hollywood greed, incompetence, and inefficiency. Our industry is at its lowest point. Thousands of artists struggling every day. Less work, less money. Hollywood studios still make billions, while VFX houses all around the world close every single week. And what do we get? The no CGI lie. The CGI is for loser insult. The VFX is too expensive excuse. We used to be the magician making movies magical. Now suddenly we are the problem? When the AI threatened actors and writers, Hollywood stood united.
The entire business model has been changed by streaming, digital, AI.
But when VFX is under attack, we are spit on, treated like we are disposable. This isn't just disrespect. This is dangerous, because it teaches the world that VFX is something dirty, when in reality, it's the craft that makes modern cinema possible. VFX vendors need to stop bending to every client demand. If the film is marketed as no CGI while using VFX, demand credit, demand transparency. If clients won't acknowledge us, vendors should walk away. Leaders need to coordinate. Imagine the top VFX vendors forming a trade union, demanding fair contract and revenue shares. The narrative will flip overnight, and we would finally be the one setting the rules and demanding respect. Artists must be louder. We need to share our work, show the breakdowns, expose the lies, and educate the audience. Fear of losing a job cannot hold us back, because if we continue like this, there won't be any job anymore. And maybe it's time for the boldest step of all. Blacklist the directors, actors and studios who refuse to respect us. Because in the end, we are stars too. And without our contribution, majority of the movies out there would not be possible. So I ask, do we as an industry have the courage to finally take a stand? What are we, artists, leads, supervisor, prepared to do? Who is willing to risk their own position to demand respect and truth? Because riposting in anger is easy. Fighting for a change takes courage. And you, yes, you, watching this, what are you willing to do to drive the change? Because in the end, it's up to all of us. This is the time for a real change. And as usual, I am Chris Espagnuolo, and this is Pixel Mentor. Happy Pixel.